from its horrifyingly bad build quality to its outright dangerous autopilot. Here's why nobody should buy a Tesla. Teslas might be super expensive cars, but that doesn't mean they have good build quality. You might expect a premium vehicle to be top-notch in every way, but when it comes to Tesla, that's not always the case. Sure, those cars have some serious curb appeal, but take a closer look, and you'll start noticing a few, let's say, quirks. Tesla owners have been complaining about misaligned panels, paint defects, and shoddy fit and finish. I mean, come on, if you're paying a premium, you expect some decent craftsmanship, right? And the issues don't stop there. Hop inside a Tesla and you might just encounter a whole new world of disappointment. Squeaks and rattles galore. Some Tesla owners have reported feeling like they're driving a rickety old wagon instead of a cutting-edge electric vehicle. And don't even get me started on the quality of materials and loose trim pieces. It's like Tesla missed the memo on what premium actually means. Need more proof? Well, how about a little survey by J.D. Power? They ranked Tesla dead last among all car makers in initial quality. With a score of 205 problems per 100 vehicles, Tesla seems to be struggling to get its act together. And it's not just some random survey. Even a former Tesla employee spilled the beans, claiming that there's poor quality control at Tesla and that after a mere 3 years, those once silent Teslas turn into squeaky symphonies. Oh, and let's not forget about the flimsy parts. You know, the ones that make you wonder if they'll survive a speed bump, let alone a pothole. And while keeping a Tesla together might be difficult, repairing it sucks even more. You see, because Tesla vehicles are packed with all that fancy technology, you can't just take them to any old repair shop. Nope. You have to hunt down one of those elusive Tesla-approved service centers. Good luck finding one nearby. You might end up embarking on a road trip just to get your car fixed. And if your car literally can't move, then tough luck. These Tesla-approved service centers often charge a pretty penny for their services. So not only are you inconvenienced by the distance, but you're also hit with higher repair costs. It's like Tesla wants to squeeze every last dollar out of your pocket. Thanks, but no thanks. Some Tesla owners have even reported waiting for ages just to get their vehicles serviced. I'm talking weeks or even months of precious time wasted, twiddling your thumbs and staring at your Tesla that's just sitting there collecting dust. Seriously, who has time for that? Oh, and even if your Tesla doesn't break down, it could still be recalled. Tesla takes the crown as the most recalled car brand in the world, and it's not even a close competition. In 2022 alone, there were a whopping 400 recalls issued by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, affecting over 25 million vehicles. And guess what? Tesla snags 4 out of the top 5 spots on that list. Talk about a grand achievement, Elon Musk. Tesla's Model Y takes the gold with a projected 62.4 recalls over its 30-year lifespan. Not far behind, the Model 3 secures the bronze with an expected 56.8 recalls in the same time frame. And to close the list off are the Model X and Model S, claiming the 4th and 5th spots respectively. And let's not forget the inconvenience and potential safety risks associated with recalls. Having to bring your vehicle back to the dealership or service center repeatedly is a hassle. It's like being caught in a never-ending loop of repairs and fixes. And that's not the only thing that limits Tesla drivers. Depending on where you live, you might find yourself in a charging station desert. Yeah, it's like an oasis that never appears on the horizon. Good luck finding a spot to juice up your electric beauty. Sure, major cities might have a decent number of charging stations, but venture beyond those concrete jungles, and you might as well be searching for a unicorn. It's like Tesla forgot that people actually like to take long trips, exploring the great unknown. But no, they decided to keep charging stations a rare commodity. And even if you do find a charging station, brace yourself for some quality time with your vehicle. Charging your Tesla isn't like pumping gas. It's a waiting game. You'll be sitting there, watching the battery indicator creep up slowly, wondering if all that money you spent on the car was even worth it. But there's more to its price tag than meets the eye. Charging costs, for example. Sure, charging your Tesla at home might be cheaper than filling up at a gas station, but make no mistake, it still costs money. Those electrons flowing into your beloved electric ride add up over time, especially if you're a heavy user of electricity. So while you might be saving on the pump, don't be fooled into thinking that charging your Tesla is entirely free. And let's not forget about depreciation. Oh boy, Teslas are notorious for not holding their value well. We've already touched on their less than stellar build quality and maintenance issues, and that takes a toll on their resale value. So when it comes time to part ways with your once shiny Tesla, be prepared for a high depreciation expense. It's like watching your investment vanish into thin air, and you thought you were getting all the fancy features when you bought your Tesla? Think again. Some of those cool functionalities like full self-driving come with an additional cost. It's like buying a fancy smartphone only to realize that all the cool apps require in-app purchases. Because let's face it, owning a Tesla isn't all rainbows and unicorns. There are financial considerations beyond the initial price tag, and those costs can add up quickly. And even after paying all that, you're not getting any reliability. According to Consumer Reports' annual reliability report, Tesla found itself sitting pretty, or not so pretty, as one of the most unreliable brands in America, with a reliability score of 40 out of 100. And it's not just Tesla. Overall, electric vehicles as a whole scored a mediocre 36 out of 100. It seems like the shiny world of electric mobility still has a long way to go when it comes to dependability. But wait, it gets better or worse depending on how you look at it. Their customer service, or more accurately, the lack thereof, is notoriously bad. Tesla owners have complained about feeling like they're trapped in a maze of unanswered calls, unresponsive emails, and a never-ending loop of frustration. Getting help or assistance from Tesla's customer service can be an exercise in patience, and no one wants to deal with that. But what about the good things? At least Teslas are good for the planet, right? Well, think again. While many people bought Teslas with dreams of saving the planet, the truth is that they might not be as eco-friendly as they seem. Making EV batteries actually generates far more emissions than the production process for good old internal combustion engine vehicles. Producing the battery alone for a Tesla emits a staggering amount of CO2, ranging from 5,000 to 35,000 pounds of emissions. That's up to 3 times higher than the emissions generated to manufacture a gas-powered car. Quite the eye-opener, isn't it? So, while driving a Tesla may reduce tailpipe emissions, the dirty secret lies in the production stage. The environmental impact of extracting the necessary materials, refining them, and manufacturing the batteries is substantial. It's like trading one set of emissions for another, with the planet still bearing the burden. And while your Tesla itself might not emit any CO2 while cruising down the road, let's talk about the elephant in the charging room. Charging your Tesla still relies on electricity. And where does that electricity come from? Fossil fuels, coal, and natural gases for the most part. So here's the harsh truth. You're not actually cutting down on your emissions. You're simply changing where those emissions come from. And the other good thing about Teslas, the autopilot, well, let's just say that sucks too. Countless incidents have revealed its outright dangerous nature. And it's not just a minor glitch here and there. I'm talking about massive accidents caused by system failures. Things like an 8-car pileup in San Francisco that sent a poor little kid straight to the hospital. Yeah, that's the kind of nightmare scenario we're dealing with. The autopilot doesn't just fail to follow road rules at times, it even struggles to detect obstacles. You'd think a feature called autopilot would ensure a smooth, safe ride. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. It's like having a reckless, blindfolded driver behind the wheel. And I get it. Tesla fans might argue that autopilot is still in its development stage and improvements are being made. But when it comes to something as crucial as road safety, oops, we're still working on it, just doesn't cut it. Lives are at stake, and relying on a system that can't even follow road rules or detect obstacles is like playing Russian roulette with your daily commute. The dangers are real, and the consequences can be devastating. It's better to keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road, knowing that you're in full control of your own safety. Because let's face it, no fancy feature is worth risking lives and causing havoc on the streets. So, from its outright dangerous autopilot to its horrifyingly bad build quality, that was why nobody should buy a Tesla.